Good afternoon. Welcome back to Passionate World Talk Radio. Educate, enlighten, entertain. And today on Our Common Faith with Mrs. Ghoulem Berrah, she is going to be talking about the transformation of our lives during COVID-19.
Good afternoon, Lillian.
Good afternoon.
How are you today?
I am doing very well.
Thank you for having me.
We are delighted. Your show is getting lots of people who are viewing it.
Thank you. So, good afternoon, my dear human brothers and sisters. In our Common Faith show, our COVID-19 pandemic did transform our lives. First and foremost, happy Thanksgiving to all in the United States. A very unique Thanksgiving. Because of the spread of COVID-19, more than 47% of people who were supposed to travel and be reunited with their family did cancel their trip and opt for a virtual celebration. Our hearts and prayers go out to those who lost a loved one stricken by the virus. Their loved one was certainly missing during Thanksgiving dinner. This is really heartbreaking. Our prayers are also for those who are sick in the hospital because of the pandemic or other disease. Sadly, more than 255,000 people were reported dead in the United States, and more than 1,355,000 around the globe. Those are huge numbers. COVID is definitely common to all faiths and to all human beings. Let's talk about the transformative power of COVID-19. We were minding our own business, and all of a sudden, 10 months ago, a disruptive and deadly guest introduced himself in our midst. From north and going from north to south, east to west of planet Earth, without segregating, but convincingly metamorphosing our life. COVID-19 is antithetic to our normal behavior. For example, we are used to visit people whom we love dearly, especially our family members. The more we were with them, the more we were able to express our love and affection. With COVID-19, the more we love them, the more we love our elderly parents, the more we have to stay away from them because they are at risk. This is weird, painful, and absolutely damaging to relationships. Even governments had to step into our lives. Here in the United States, we had stay-at-home orders and curfews. In Europe, Africa, and all over the world, something similar. In Canada, some places have even restrictions related to the number of persons who can be in a household at the same time. 6 is a number. If you are a family of 6, you can receive only 3 persons at a time. For example, you have a sibling visiting with his wife and child. If you have more than one sibling, they have to queue in order to come to your place. At this point, most of us have been affected by COVID-19. We know someone who had COVID, friends or family members. I have two nieces, civilizations, at the forefront who contracted the virus and were sick for some time. Fortunately, they are okay. But other family members, extended family members in different parts of the world, died from the virus. The worst case scenario that had happened all over the world. Have a loved one in the hospital, stricken with COVID-19, and not being able to stay with him or her. So many passed away without having someone by their side or being able to say goodbye. Because of COVID-19, we run the risk of deshumanization of our society. We have to stay 6 feet apart from other people because we represent a danger to one another. Our most faithful companion is a mask. Our mouths are muzzled. Like dogs, we're just missing a sign, beware of the dog. It's not like Halloween party, wearing a mask for a couple of hours and it's over. We need to keep our mask in public all the time because this is the only way to protect ourselves and to protect others. The only way to stop spreading the virus. What a powerful statement COVID-19 is making into our daily life. Do we need to learn from these circumstances, or should we descend into an abyss of despair? Is COVID-19 a teaching tool? It is obvious indeed. It is obvious that it's indeed a teaching tool. This is one more reason for us to understand that things cannot go only the way we wish or plan. So many factors are beyond our control. A myriad of individuals have lost their job and found themselves and their family in a precarious situation. Long lines are noticed at food banks across our country, especially prior to Thanksgiving. This is a good time for awareness of the feelings of others, how it feels to be deprived of something, to suffer from hunger. Realize the importance of actually appreciating things we were taking for granted. Number of small businesses filed for bankruptcy. Numerous persons were trapped in a country without money, having their life in limbo because of borders closure. Some family members who came here for 2 weeks visit were grounded for 5 months. Virtual communication and home working policies are great, but it puts some stress among population who live in a cramped house with children getting half-time online classes. The pandemic had impacted the emotional development of our youth. Social isolation is imposed on them. They face disrupted education and uncertainty about the future. They miss terribly social events, spending times with friends, going to concerts, sports, and physical activities. It's indeed a very challenging time for them because unlike the youth who lived through the Great Depression in the 30s, they are not used to hardship. COVID has definitely taken a psychological toll on people of all ages. And it is sometimes hard to finding ways to cope with that stress. Should we descend into an abyss of despair? If we are struggling or feeling overwhelmed or seem to have no strength, we can stay on the edge any longer when we think that what is in front of us is nothing but darkness and despair. A very wise man, late President Houphouët-Boigny, the first president of Côte d'Ivoire, a small country in West Africa, where I come from, used to say, when there is no human solution to a problem, there is certainly a divine one. Changing our perspective and looking to the spirituals is not always easy. What do religion teach us? From a Buddhist perspective, we need working with our fear and anxiety and accept the world the way it is. Thinking that things should be otherwise adds unnecessary suffering. Nonetheless, the Buddha recommends meditation. If you meditate earnestly through spiritual discipline, you can make an island for yourself that no flood can overwhelm. This is from Dhammapada. The Dhammapada is the Buddha's path to wisdom. Dhammapada chapter 2. Let's consider the Abrahamic faith. In the Jewish faith, we are in good company because we are not the only one falling sometimes into despair. Even Moses fell into despair and complained to God. I cannot carry these whole people on my own. It is too heavy for me. If this is what you are doing to me, then if I have found favor in your eyes, kill me now, and let me not look upon this evil. This is Numbers, chapter 11. God then comforted Moses. The Torah stresses that God cares about us. He made a covenant with humanity and further a covenant with the people he chose to be a living example of faith. Thus, we shouldn't be hopeless. We should count on him and he will respond positively anyway. In the Islamic faith, one most important characteristic is that a Muslim must remain in a positive state of mind, whatever the circumstances bring. The belief is that Allah, the Almighty, is creator of all things. The faithful knows that any trial times he finds himself in are God-sent tests. He takes in his stride, recalling what Allah had advised him. It may be that you hate something when it's good for you, and it may be that you love something when it's bad for you. Allah knows, and you do not know. This is from the Holy Quran, the Surah Al-Baqarah. In any circumstances, Allah is always near. And from the same Surah Al-Baqarah, do you think you will enter paradise without such trials as came to those who passed away before you? They experienced suffering and adversity and were so shaken in spirit that even the prophet and the faithful who were with him cried, "When will Allah's help come?" Verily, the help of Allah is near. They always remember Surah Al-Shah. So verily, with every difficulty, there is a relief. Therefore, they always turn to Allah, the Almighty, for help. For Christians, in the Gospel, there are countless reminders of God's loving presence in difficult times. We just have to turn to him. Matthew recalls us, "Ask, and it will be given to you. Search, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be open to you. Everyone who asks receives. Everyone who searches finds. Everyone who knocks will have the door open. Is there anyone among you who would hand his son a stone when he asks for bread? Or will you hand him a snake when he asks for a fish? Then, evil as you are, you know how to give your children what is good, how much more will your Father in heaven give good things to those who ask him? This is Matthew chapter 7. So the path is clear. We shouldn't despair. People of all faiths need to continue to be united in prayer here in the United States and around the world. The Almighty will respond to our collection of prayers and rid us of COVID-19. Help is near. In the meantime, let's not waste a minute. Let's enjoy every single second with family members in our household. I would like to conclude with a quote from my husband, Ambassador Ghoulem Berrah's book, Our Common Faith, a plea for interfaith harmony. The quote is related to the quote is related to our interfaith pilgrimage to Jerusalem, an illustration of collective prayers. During the Muslim call to prayer, we could also hear the Christian procession praying loudly as, en route to the Holy Sepulchre, they made their way past the Al-Aqsa Mosque, while at the same time the Jews were praying at the Wailing Wall. Together, all prayers of the various faiths emanating in unison rose toward the sky, a sign of our common faith in one unique God. Thank you for listening. I wish you the best of the best. God bless you.
Thank you all for to Passionate World Radio. Educate. And if you wish to hear all over again, please check out facebook.com/PWR Network _PW or facebook.live/PWR Network. Thank you all very much. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving, and we'll see you in another month. Good night.
Thank you.